I call upon Cllr Bayford to comment on or ask questions in relation to the Leader's report.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader, for your report, which as usual was big on self-congratulation and full of side swipes at other political parties. Firstly, I welcome the good news that Dreamland's reopening was a great success. I'm sure we're all behind that and may that long continue. It's also good to hear that our housing stock appears to be free of the fire hazards which led to the terrible Grenfell Tower disaster. As far as engagement with River Oak is concerned, I don't think anyone is contesting that full council should deal with DCO rather than Cabinet. What is in dispute, though, is whether RSP should have the opportunity to present their evidence with regard to the potential of a revived Manston Airport to full council, who will be responsible for approving the local plan. What I find perhaps more interesting are a couple of things that you've left out of your report that have happened since you last reported to us. There's been 2 elections since you last reported, and I believe that they both demonstrate clearly that both nationally and locally UKIP have become irrelevant. In the general election, Councillor Piper polled for 6% of the vote, although this is a good result by UKIP standards, as 337 of their candidates lost their deposits. At the county elections, UKIP lost every seat it held. But perhaps the most telling statistic, Leader, was your own result. Standing in an area that you've represented for years, you took just 13% of the vote. 87% of those who voted didn't want you, which is hardly a ringing endorsement of your leadership of this council. You refer to the local plan being in a housing versus airport straitjacket, but I don't think that's the case. The issue is that Manston is designated for aviation use in the current local plan. You've contended that an airport isn't viable and the site should be used for housing. Many people believe that the airport is viable and that the DCO process in the background will demonstrate this. And as a result, many feel that the current designation should remain. And further, as a member of the Cabinet Advisory Group, considering the emerging local plan, I can assure members that there were plenty of potential sites to meet our housing target without using the airport. What really surprised me was to hear you suggest that a successful airport was a bad thing, as the extra jobs provided would only lead to more houses being needed. That's a totally shocking assertion coming from the leader of a district blighted for so many years by absolutely terrible, above average levels of unemployment. For that thought alone, Councillor Wells, you should listen to your electorate and consider your position. Thank you.
Call upon the Leader to respond.
Thank you. I just love it when you say to me, I
tell him the truth.
Spend too much time carping about other people and then proceed to carp for 85% of your own time. Thank you for that. I didn't realise that was that important, but there you are. I could spend several minutes correcting your assertions, but I don't think you're probably listening, so we'll leave it at that.
I call upon Councillor